We all know the US's EB-5 investment program is one of the few direct green card programs left in the US's immigration system, where you won't be stuck in a backlog or be in immigration limbo for the next 50 years. But is it possible to do EB-5 at $400,000 investment instead of the minimum $800,000? Is this legit? Is this a scam? This is the topic of our video today, and we'll expose the truth, provide you the facts so you can make an informed decision. Anyone stuck in the US with an H-1B visa, maybe as a student or some other work-based employment program, or even from outside of the US, can apply for the EB-5 green card program if they meet the eligibility, including the investment funds. Or perhaps the parents can be the benefactors giving you the money to apply. That's legit as well. Or even if you're stuck in the Canadian immigration backlog, whether it's the Alberta PNP, the Startup Visa program, or any of the other Canadian immigration backlog programs, which could take 10 to 30 years to be processed. How about a green card in about 2 years? Does that sound appealing? Should you do the $1 million gold card announced by the White House or the EB-5 US program? We'll cover this comparison at the end of this video and what those differences mean to you. Quick introduction and overview. The EB-5 US program is a capital investment immigration program that is linked to job creation of minimum 10 US jobs per investor. This program offers applicants a direct green card path. This could mean a conditional green card within less than 2 years based on a qualifying investment in an EB-5 regional center project. The interesting point is that applicants from inside the US under an H-1B visa or other status, or perhaps even applicants in Canada stuck in long immigration backlogs, and even applicants from overseas can apply for this program to either convert their status in the US or apply from outside to obtain that conditional green card within approximately 2 years or less, depending on where you're applying. Of course, Indian and Chinese nationals typically experience longer processing times because of the retrogression in terms of their visa allocations for those countries. But in 2025, these retrogressions are very minimal compared to previous years if you're applying today in this year. However, any nationality from inside the US would still receive quick processing times. The basic qualifications for EB-5 US are having clear immigration history with the US, background checks, and source of funds, on where and how you've accumulated the investment funds that you're planning to invest. This amount is $800,000 minimum threshold in a targeted employment area or rural project. And there's a financing option of 50% being financed, which means that in the financing option, you only need to provide proof of where you got the $400,000 from, plus the regional center fee. And that's what we're talking about in this video. Are commercial loans for EB-5 investments allowed and legal and eligible according to the USCIS? Of course, we'll cover the case law that made the loans eligible right after we cover the details of the structure of this commercial loan for the EB-5 program that can allow you to invest $400,000 instead of the full $800,000 and still be eligible. Here is how the EB-5 financing structure works. The investor invests $400,000 into the regional center project in the US, which has received or planning to receive an I-956F approval letter from the US Immigration Department, the USCIS, as an eligible project for the EB-5 program. An independent intermediary financing party in the US, which works with the regional center, will loan the balance $400,000 to the investor by paying the regional center on their behalf, making the total investment $800,000, being the minimum EB-5 qualifying investment amount for a targeted employment area or rural project. The loan is paid out as soon as the applicant makes the full $400,000 initial investment plus the regional center admin fee. As soon as the loan is paid, the interest payments would be due monthly at 8% per annum, approximately, depending on the project and the year and the prevailing interest rates in the market. And sometimes some regional centers can even charge interest per quarter instead of the monthly payments. Keep in mind, you're only paying interest and not principal. The maturity date of the $400,000 EB-5 loan will be the same as the underlying investment project. The loan is unsecured, meaning that anyone who qualifies for the EB-5 program, makes the $400,000 investment and the regional center fee, can qualify for this loan. It's pretty simple. The loan will be documented by an irrevocable payment instruction letter sent to the regional center from the lender, which would offset the first $400,000 repaid from the project to the investor against the repayment of the third-party loan. Although the lender is not taking any type of security from the EB-5 investor, the lender will have first rights to apply the first repayments from the EB-5 project as repayments for the loan they've given you. This loan is probably the easiest $400,000 loan anyone can get in the world, as long as they qualify for the US's EB-5 investment program, which also means your source of funds is very important. The accumulation of how the $400,000 plus the admin fee were gained and have been transferred to the US. Our office does a pre-assessment first to make sure you qualify before you invest, to reduce your risk of refusal. There's a lot of investment projects out there for the EB-5 program, but they do not all have the same risk level, and some of them are just straight out shady. Here's an important fact everyone should know about the EB-5 program. You can technically invest in any approved EB-5 regional center project, but if you don't have a clear source of funds for your immigration application, you can be refused upfront. But your investment is still going to be in the EB-5 project, and there's no early refund. You're in for the long haul. Even if your immigration paperwork, such as the source of funds, is pristine, your project could fail before the conditions of your green card are removed. This is a reality, but worst case scenario. This could mean losing both your investment and your immigration case. If your project is solid though, and has created the minimum 10 jobs as required by the EB-5 program, then you can file an I-829 petition to remove the green card conditions, after which only the repayment of your original investment in the EB-5 project will remain, and you're scot-free as a permanent green card holder. This is why it's extremely important to complete a pre-assessment of your source of funds and select the right project to mitigate your risk. No project is 100% guaranteed, and there's no immigration program with zero risk in the world. If that's what you think, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. This is reality. You have to mitigate your risk. However, you can navigate this by having the correct information up front and doing the proper assessments before you invest, before you apply. Here's some key tips and red flags to watch out for when selecting EB-5 projects for your US green card application. Investors who are chasing ROI for their investments have their highest risk because they're losing sight of the most important point, capital preservation. Be happy by just getting your money back as an EB-5 lender, instead of looking for that profit or that ROI chasers, because they have the highest risk. Equity investment in EB-5 projects has the longest timelines for ROI and highest risk, although they do have pretty decent ROIs if they're successful. Alternatively, other projects are loans by EB-5 investors and you're just a creditor for an EB-5 project, meaning the ROIs are minimal or sometimes relatively reasonable, but don't expect too much of an ROI. This is not an ROI game. When investing in a new project, the timelines for recouping your funds are a bit longer. Typically, investing in a project which is under construction and has met certain milestones and already has signed up a significant number of EB-5 investors means you have a better timeline to recoup your investment, less than 5 years. For applicants of the EB-5 program who are inside the US, such as H-1B visa holders, students, or other work programs, here's the petitions and timelines. If you have a status in the US, you need to file an I-526E initially as your conditional green card petition, and also the I-485 for change of status while you're inside the country, and an I-765 for the work authorization inside the US while you're there, because you want to be able to work. You have to have that flexibility. And then the I-131 as the advanced parole petition, which is the last petition you would need to apply if you're inside the US. Between 18 to 24 months, you'll receive the approval for the work authorization and the advanced parole. And after the interview, you'll be continuing towards a conditional green card, which is valid for 2 years. The removal of the green card conditions are the same no matter if you're applying from inside the US or from outside, which is through a petition 829.